Hello, welcome back to Christine's Home Affairs. I'm going to give you a breakdown of the top 10 bestsellers of all time. So these are things that I have in my shop as regular items. So I work with predominantly upholstery fabric. Everything that I'm going to show you today is made with rescued fabric, upholstery fabric, or deceased estate fabric. So none of it has been purchased brand new by myself. Some of it has been put back together to make bigger things. So hang around and I'm going to show you what my top 10 bestsellers have been. I'll also give you a breakdown of what I've made for each particular product, and I'll give you a tally at the end of everything that I've done so far. This is actually going to be covering 18 months of data that I've been collating. The products that I do have are the things that I've been selling lots of for the past 3 or 4 years that I've been doing this kind of sewing for my shop. Wherever I can, I'll pop a video link in the description below. So if there's anything that you want to know how to make, I'll put that link in the description and there'll be a video tutorial for it. Okay, number 10. This one here is a Lithuanian linen throw. Well, that's how I've labelled them in the shop. When I first made them, I made about 30 of them. I was selling them at $45 each. I now sell them at $25 each because I've only got 3 left, I think. And these are made out of Lithuanian squares or rectangles of fabric. So each one here has been put back together again, just with overlocked or serged edges. I acquired these from a guy that was trying to sell Lithuanian linen fabric to shops, and he made up lots of samples and wanted to distribute them amongst stores. He didn't get any takers and he was really disheartened. He was going to throw away all of the fabric. He had about 35 pieces like that in little packets, and he just gave me everything and I've sewn it all together. So these have just been put in the dryer, beaten around and kept as a crinkled look. I've sold 10 of these at $25 each, which has given me $250. So the only expense with these was my time and the thread. And of course the time it takes to wash and dry these in the laundry. At number 9 are these lined totes. Now, I do a huge assortment of lined totes or bags. They're all different shapes and sizes, but all of them are lined in some way. Some of them have pockets inside them and some don't. This one here is made out of a big sample swatch book that I got, and they'd have 3 or 4 colorways, and I would cut them up and put them back together again. That's one style. This one here is actually using the same book of fabric, but the orientation is a little different. And this one here is made using 3 different fabrics. So they're all from sample swatch boards, and I just put a whole lot of them together in different shapes and sizes. I only started making these lined totes for the store about 9 months ago, so they haven't been here very long, and to make it to number 9 on the list overall is pretty good. The prices vary from $25 to $45 each. I sold 9 in total, and that earned me a total of $385. Next on the list are bridal bags. Now, these are not bridal bags for brides, for wedding dresses. These are bridal bags for horses, ponies, cow halters. They carry harnesses and halters. So they're a huge, really long bag. These are it here. They're expandable. They'll open out and they've got tons of room on the inside. Where the hanging loop is at the top here, we have a loop that comes down underneath, and this has a Velcro loop which will hold harnesses and whatever else they use for the animals when they show them. In the past 18 months I've sold 12 of these at $25 each, which has earned me $300. When I first started making these, probably 2 years ago, I was selling them at $45 each. I didn't have that much success. I probably only sold about 6 of them. But since I've put the price down to $25, I've managed to sell 12 of them. And the only expense with those was the Velcro, the zipper tape, my labels, and the webbing that I use for the handle. So there wasn't much by way of costs for manufacturing, just my labour again. At number 7 are these crossbody bags. Again, I make quite a few different styles of crossbody bags, some with zips like this one here and some without. And I make them in lots of different sizes and shapes. Some also have pockets on the inside and others won't. Look, I don't have any plans when I make these bags. I just make them up, and my aim is to get rid of as much fabric as I can, so I just make them up as quickly as I possibly can. The only expense in these bags, because the fabric is free, was the strapping for the handles and a couple of little rectangular slides and my fabric labels. I've only been making crossbody bags for 6 months, and in that time I've sold 12 of them and earned $350. I sell them between $30 and $50. Most of them are $30 each, though I only have a couple that are $50 to $55. So $30 each for my crossbody bags. And again, they're all made with upholstery fabric swatches. At number 6 are my Helping Hands card holders. So these are playing card holders, and I don't know if you remember when you were a child, you'd be playing cards, something like Uno or Skip-Bo, and you'd have to go and pick up 20 or 30 cards at a time. This is a great way for little kiddies to be able to hold all the cards, and the elderly with arthritic fingers as well to hold their cards. Made with CDs or DVDs, and these ones here are made with upholstery fabric, and this one here is just made with old fabric. Then I just mix and match buttons to put the CDs together. I first started selling them at $12 each. They're a little bit labour intensive, so I've put the price up to $15. Haven't had any problem selling them with the price increase. They've been in the shop now for a year. I've sold 48 of them, and that has earned me $696 in 1 year. At number 5 are these really cute little puppy poo pouches. I've been making these in the shop for probably close to 2 years, and they're just made out of small scraps of fabric. I think they're 4 or 5 inch pieces of fabric, and they have a little eyelet on one side, a zip on the other side, and on the inside is a roll of toilet bags for when you take your dog for a walk. They just clip onto your lead. These have been very popular in the store. I just have them hanging around all the time. I do actually purchase bulk rolls, which are very cheap. I sell them at $15 each. I've sold 67 of them, and that has earned me $1,005. And these are so quick to make. They're not lined, they're just very quick to make. At number 4 are my shoe bags. Now, I started making these as shoe bags because I needed them for my rock and roll dance shoes. So these are very similar to the horse and pony bridal bags. They are expandable like that. They fit a good size pair of shoes, and I can tell you from experience they'll also fit a wine bottle in there as well as your dance shoes. And they'll also fit your fan as well. I sell these for $20 each. I've sold 87 of them so far in the past 18 months. And that's earned me $1,580. They're a good staple in my shop. At number 3 are these hand towels. Now these are a hanging tea towel, and this is actually, the bottom part here is half a tea towel. So you cut them in half and stitch across them and attach the piece of fabric at the top. To hang them on your rail, there's a nice little band at the front. Your rail goes in between there, and your towels just sit nicely on your oven or on a horizontal rail like that. I sell these for $15 each. I've sold 91 of them, and that has earned me $1,365. These have been a really good earner for me in the shop. I've had these in the shop for less than 18 months now. Now, the next one that's come in at number 2 is a combination of different types of zippered bags, whether they're toiletry bags or pencil cases or cosmetic bags. I have them all under the same code, and they are boxed bags. in whatever size I can make with the fabric that I have. Some of my box bags are only about this big, and then there are also zippered bags made with the upholstery fabric. So these are made with upholstery fabric swatches, just 2 pieces of fabric put back together again and cut in half to make them look nice. Same here, this is 2 different pieces of fabric. They're all lined. This one here was using sample swatch fabric as well as a roll of denim that I was given. I think I made about 14 of those and only have about 5 or 6 of those left. These ones I made probably about 6 months ago, so they've done really well in the shop. All of these kinds of zippered bags are very popular as Christmas gifts or just thank you gifts to people. People just like picking them up in the shop and buying them as well. And this one was done with quilting cotton, which I received in a deceased estate or was given to me by somebody. Now the zippered bags I sell in varying sizes and shapes. They vary in price from $10 up to about $35. This one here is $15 and this one here is $25. I've actually sold quite a lot of these and need to make up lots more. And this one here I've got priced at $35, and as I've said, I've sold quite a lot of those just I think last month or the month before. I sold a total of 95 of them and that has earned me $1,760. So not bad for just scraps of fabric that have been put back together again. Number 1. Now, those of you who follow my sales reports know exactly what is number 1. There's not going to be any surprise there whatsoever. I started making this product about 4 years ago, and in that time I've sold over 3,500 bags. When I first started making them, it was at the time when plastic bags were no longer allowed in Australia, or supposedly not allowed in Australia. And I sold thousands of them all over the country. The sales have slowed down, but I'm still doing quite a lot of them. These are my supermarket shopping bags. So they're a copy of the supermarket bags that they have at the checkout. And they're very roomy and fit on the checkout beautifully. They're all made with upholstery fabric. The only expense apart from my time is the black handles and a little tiny label on the front. These are super quick to make. I think I can make them in about 8 minutes now. I usually make about 50 to 100 at a time, and I've got the time down to about 8 minutes or so. I do have a production line video where you can see how I make these. These are my supermarket shopping bags just for the last 18 months, because that's as far back as my current records go. So just for the last 18 months, I've sold 243 of these at $15 to $20 each. That's earned me $3,750 for these supermarket shopping bags. So now that's just my top 10. That hasn't included the vinyl bags, the itty bitty bags. They didn't make it to the list because some of them haven't been in the shop long enough, and others I just haven't sold many of them. So of the top 10 items that I've sold in the past 18 months, it's come to a total of $11,441. And again, that's just the top 10 that I've shown you here. If I include all of the items that I've sold in the shop over the past 18 months that didn't quite make the list, that was $15,283 in total of handmade sales that I've done with all of the upholstery fabric or fabric that was rescued or given to me or donated by some way. When I make my products, I don't charge for the fabric that I get for free, but I do take into account the time it takes to process fabric, whether it be pulling it off the sample boards or cutting it up and that sort of thing. That's all factored into my labour rate. So when I start processing a job, I put the clock on and I'll see how long something takes, and it's all included in that. Now, I know a lot of people have said that I should be charging for the fabric. Because this fabric was given to me, my way of paying it forward is to give that back to the customer. It also helps drive sales. So if the customer knows that I don't charge them for something that I got for free, they're more likely to buy that product. I don't mind not charging a price for the actual material. It hasn't cost me anything, and nor has the lining. Zips and labels and tags are all purchased in bulk and don't cost me much at all. You'll also notice on my products I have a couple of big swing tags. One of them is my story about rescuing fabric, and I also share the link of my channel, so if people want to make these products themselves, they can go right ahead and do that. And the other one is my Australian made logo. I am a licensed Australian made seller, so I get to carry that tag on all of my products. Everything I've shown you has just been my top 10. There have been lots of fails that I've done in the shop. My itty bitty bags, they haven't been that popular, or at least they weren't when the price was too high. Since they've come down to $10, these are my itty bitty bags. And they're just scrap fabric. So they're now $10. They sell really well at that price. I'll actually do another time trial of these ones to see if they're still worth making. So there are a few things that I wouldn't have in the shop. Again, even though I've sold quite a few bridal bags, they do take me a little bit more time than I'd like them to. There's not much of a demand for them, so I won't be making those ones again. But the best sellers, the crossbody bags for the time that I've had them so far, the shopping bags, the zippered bags, the shoe bags, the hand towels, and the card holders, they're things that are really worth having in the shop. I have to make up lots more of them. So as soon as I can, I'm going to get right back into it. 7 days to go before I have a little bit more freedom to use my shoulder. I hope you have enjoyed this video and that you enjoy these updates. Let me know what you think, and I shall catch you next time. Bye for now.